All right, let's talk about vibe coding. Remember that? It was this massive promise that you could just speak the next big app into existence by talking to an AI. Well, spoiler alert, that dream kind of died. But what rose from its ashes is actually way more interesting. Let's dive in.
So let's go back for a second. It all kicked off with this absolutely incredible promise. I mean, imagine it, building complex software just by describing what you want it to do. No syntax, no tedious boilerplate code, none of it. It was all about pure intention, about your ideas being translated directly into a real working application.
And it got a name, Vibe Coding. The concept was truly revolutionary. You could, in theory, just tell an AI, hey, build me a social media app, but make it for dog lovers who only want to share pictures of their pets sleeping. And poof, watch it appear. This wasn't just about making coding easier for developers. This was about handing the keys to the kingdom to absolutely everyone.
But that initial dream, the one where we'd all be prompting the next billion-dollar SaaS business into existence, it slammed headfirst into a giant wall of reality. And let me tell you, the honeymoon phase was officially over. Yeah, the early hype was all about creating these useful, scalable products. We thought we were going to get an endless stream of to-do list apps, project managers, and social networks. But look, as any developer who's been in the trenches will tell you, building real-world software is a whole lot more than just a cool idea. And it turns out you can't just vibe your way through a security audit. So why exactly did this dream fall apart for utility apps? Well, it really comes down to three big things. First, this idea of cognitive debt. Think of it like this. The more you just vibe and patch things, the messier the foundation gets. Pretty soon, the AI loses the plot, and the apps become impossible to maintain, full of weird bugs and gaping security holes. Second, the token squeeze. It turns out that asking a massive AI to constantly rewrite and iterate on complex code costs real money. The economics just didn't hold up. And finally, the pros figured out a better way. The whole industry shifted to something called agentic engineering, which is a fancy way of saying humans went back to being the architects, carefully directing teams of AI agents instead of just closing their eyes and vibing.
But here's the twist. This is not a story about failure. The vibes, they didn't die. They just packed their bags and moved. They found a new home where the rules were totally different, and frankly, where the goals were a lot more interesting than building another boring to-do list app.
Which of course brings us to the big question. If vibe coding failed at the one thing everyone thought it was for, is it just dead?
No, not even close. The vibes just found a new, and honestly, a much better home. We're talking about the world of creative expression. Think video, think music, think custom avatars, interactive characters. This is where the real magic started to happen.
And this table just lays out the shift perfectly. Look at utility apps. The goal was scalable commercial software. And the cost of failure? A massive security breach, losing all your customer data. You needed serious system architecture skills. Now look at creative tools. The goal is personal expression. The cost of failure? You scrap an idea. You get a glitchy visual, which honestly might end up looking kind of cool. All of a sudden, the most important skill isn't engineering anymore. It's taste. It's your aesthetic vision.
And this shift has sparked what a lot of people are calling a new creative renaissance. In this new world, vibe coding isn't just surviving, it is absolutely thriving because it's empowering individual artists and creators in ways we're just now starting to understand. So why is creativity such a perfect fit? Well, for one, the stakes are so much lower. A bug in your custom video filter isn't a catastrophe, it's just an interesting experiment. Second, creators are building these hyper-personalized, often disposable tools. They're not making something for millions of users, they're making something just for themselves, for their own unique workflow. And this has led to a bedroom producer renaissance, just like we saw in music when digital audio software became accessible. It's all about demolishing the technical barriers so you can get straight to making the art.
And this isn't theoretical. We are seeing this happen right now. You've got musicians literally vibe coding their own custom audio plugins and virtual looper pedals. You've got animators prompting insane visuals that react in real time to a live band. Video creators are generating little bits of throwaway code just to automate their very specific, unique editing style. See the pattern? They're not building products for everyone. They're crafting bespoke instruments for their own artistic expression.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, as the cost of just generating raw code plummets to basically zero, the real value, the real scarcity, is shifting away from the code itself and towards something much more human. And this is the most crucial point right here.
The future doesn't belong to people using AI to try and replace software engineers. No, it belongs to the people who use AI to amplify their own artistic taste. In this new era, the most valuable skill isn't going to be prompting an AI to build another generic app. It's going to be having a unique, compelling vision and using these unbelievable new tools to finally bring that vision to life.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. In a world where you can now craft your own creative tools with just your words, the only real limit is your imagination. So that's the question I leave you with. What specific creative workflows, what kind of art, what music, what stories are you going to build?